All right, what is up, everybody? Divine Hood here, coming at you with another daily update on Bitcoin and the crypto markets. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Samuel, thank you for being here. Thank you for modding for me. Yeah, guys, we are breaking the VWAP right now, which is in some ways a bullish sign because you can see it's been holding us down for most of the day. But we finally came into that support box that I gave you in yesterday's video. It was kind of a big area because I was looking at our golden pocket, or let me see what it was, a POC, a pitchfork band, and well, first of all, taking out those local lows from last Saturday into that area and our golden pocket area. So in bottom of the channel as well, we saw this descending channel developing, but we did see some bull divs as we were coming down to this area. I did let you guys know earlier today in the Telegram that I did end up longing this, and I took a small TP of just 10% at the VWAP because it looked like we were starting to reject there, but I'm still open on the short position for much higher, and I am long now from this area. Was expecting a bounce in this general area. But is this going to be a reversal or just a bounce for a lower high before making another lower low? So welcome in, everybody. Travie Trades, welcome in. Not Quicker, Little Rich, Crypto Wander, David Brumbelow, BGSP19. Welcome in, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Alex, John Shanks, Patrick, and Liam. Thank you guys all so much for being here. So looks like we are starting to push up pretty aggressive. I want to see if we can break out of this descending channel. But last week we talked about the very key level that if we were going to reject and create a lower high, it was going to be from our $75,300 to $75,600 area of resistance. That was that 0.5 Fibonacci in Confluence with the Coinbase, excuse me, the Bybit VWAP. So you can see we came up to that Bybit VWAP, we came up and hit that 0.5 Fibonacci, and now we are rejecting from that area. What's important to understand is this an impulse or is this a correction? And I know that last time we came up on the Coinbase chart and we hit that Coinbase anchored VWAP, we also looked at this as an impulse down. So because it was more likely to be an impulse down, we were expecting to make a lower high before making a lower low, and that didn't play out. So we could see something very similar again, where even if we do come all the way down, we could just continue to chop and range. But this range is getting more and more developed now. And as this range gets more and more developed, we're likely to see a break of this range soon. I do have to say, there is less of a probability now of breaking up into 78 or 85K because we are back inside of our volume profile and because we did reject from that kind of last do or die target of the bears. But there's still a chance. Let's say because of our weekly green dot that we had, we still have a chance of continuing up for a couple more weeks. We'll just have to see. But we can look for the scalps within the range, right? Play the range until it breaks. And if you guys watched yesterday's video, I showed you something that happened the last time we broke out of our volume profile. So let me hide this pitchfork real quick. And if we just look at our volume profile here, the last time we broke out of our volume value area high, our volume profile here, we created a little bit of a range and we rejected from the anchored VWAP. Then when we came down, we actually fell back underneath the range value area high, and we started to see that chop in here. And when we couldn't get back above the value area high, that's when we ended up dumping to the value area low. So we saw something very similar happen this week. We broke above. We formed a range. Now this range was formed at the Bybit value area high, or anchored VWAP. That Bybit anchored VWAP was coming in right here. And we fell back inside. Now, during yesterday's video, I was showing you guys how we had that small descending channel here, and that if it was going to break down, you at least usually will break down to the POC. Yesterday, we had a small descending channel here, and it did end up breaking down pretty aggressively, and we fell to the POC. So I was expecting a drop to the POC if we were to backtest bearishly the value area high and reject. And what did we get? We fell back inside. We backtested. We backtested. We backtested. We could not get back above it. So you expect that drop to the POC. So that's what I was waiting for all day today. And even in yesterday's video, we were waiting for that drop. But you can see here in this drop that we have, there's a couple ways to look at this move to the downside from 75K, from 75.5K. We can look at this as a wave 1, a wave 2, all of this being a wave 3 here that's just ending. And now we're going to see a 3-wave corrective move in a wave 4 before seeing one more low come in a wave 5. And this entire impulse could just be the start of a much bigger impulse to the downside if the bearish scenario is really going to kick in and play out. But we were looking for at least some sort of relief bounce here. We are getting that relief bounce here very, very nicely now. I'm long from that area. Also on Solana, guys, I just ended up taking a long on Solana a couple hours ago when we did hit into the bottom of our pitchfork band and pumping very nicely on Solana. Solana looks even nicer because you can see we have a 1, 2, you have your big third wave, a 4, and then a 5. We have our 5-wave push down. So now we could be looking for a 3-wave corrective move up to your golden pocket area. And let's just pull that golden pocket real quick because it is going to align pretty dang close with your pitchfork midline. So I'm long on Solana from about 87.5. I got in about 87.5 and 93.6 to 94K, not 94K, $94 is where I'm looking for a potential TP on this. If this impulse is done and we're going to get that 3-wave corrective move, making a lower high before dumping. Another thing I'm going to be watching for on Solana is if we backtest the value area high, because we are inside the volume profile and we really haven't backtested that value area high since losing that volume profile, then I would probably take some profit if we do start to reject from our value area high. But it looks like we're starting to see a little nice push up here. This is really good to see. Starting to get aggressive. Earlier today in the Telegram, I pretty much said that the VWAP is what we're watching for. If we're going to reject from the VWAP, we expect to continue down to make new lows. If not, we're expecting to break out. And let me throw on our small channel. So you can see we had a strong move down, and then we started to get that selling exhaustion that we often see. Selling exhaustion coming in, that's that choppy overlap you see towards the end of a move. And also, I talked about our order flow. We saw a lot of fresh shorts coming into the market towards the bottom of the range. So if you can see actually this whole kind of descending channel here, all short positions coming in, and a majority of them were new short positions. So we have shorts that could squeeze us all the way up to the highs of this descending channel. And we could get a pretty aggressive short squeeze all the way up to, 71, 72K, depending on how we push up here. It looks like we do have some real nice longs stepping in right now. Actually, that's pretty nice to see. We have some fresh long positions stepping in here. And those long positions could be the catalyst of a healthy move, and then the short squeeze could start, and we could push up to hit these highs in here. So we're looking at, this was the highs of our descending channel. Let me throw that descending channel on. You can see I pulled the descending channel from the initial low to our second low, and then up. I initially had the channel up to this high, but when this high peaked out and then fell back inside, I changed it to that high. So you can look at that channel either way. If you look at it this way, we are breaking out of the channel, and then that was just a kind of a fake out of the channel. But let's go ahead and let's expand that channel a little bit. And the reason why I expanded the channel, because you can see the midline respect, kind of chop through it a bit. But if we expand it to that second high, it does look to be respected quite a bit more within this descending structure. So for me, this channel is the one to use because the midline is respected more. The more something is respected in the past, the more it's respected in the future. And right now is important because we're attempting to break out of the channel. If we see a break out of this channel with volume to the upside, it is very likely we could come sweep all of this, or at least sweep up to the second pivot of that channel, which is right around the backtest of our value area high. Now, if we're looking at this structure being a 5-wave impulse that is not complete yet, there is a couple ways to count this as complete: a wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, and then you kind of had a flat in here for a wave 4, and then this is your wave 5. So there is a way to count it. I personally like seeing it better as a 1, 2. All of this is the 3. And right now we're in a 4 before potentially making another 5. But let's pull our wave 4 targets. So we're going to go from the highs of the little triangle to our lows that we made today. We're going to put on our wave 4 targets. So we're looking between the 382 and that 0.5 Fibonacci. And seeing that that zone is where the back test of the value area high is. It's also kind of where our liquidity trail ends from this descending channel. You know, you can peek your head a little bit above that 0.5. As long as you don't hit the golden pocket, you're okay. And golden pocket's up at 72.5. So I am looking for that long position. TP1 is going to be around the 382 in the value area high. And then, well, I guess I did TP1 of 10% of the trade at the VWAP, but the main TP1 is going to be in this general area. TP2 would probably be taking out this liquidity, or if we start to reject from the 0.5. But I am looking potentially for this to continue down, guys. The larger structure still does look a little bit bearish. This entire range that we've been in for 6 weeks now, to me, it still looks a little bit bearish here. And it's very hard to count on the macro time frame impulsive structure in here. It's very hard to count where we would see that impulse continuing up into the mid 80s. The bulls had their chance. The bulls had their chance. They had to break through this, and they really had to continue here. They weren't able to do that. And we did break market structure bearishly, you know, by taking out that weekend low at 70,236, which, by the way, in yesterday's video, I told you was a key level to be watching. We took out that low. It officially broke market structure bearishly. And when we officially break market structure bearishly, now we have a better chance of making a lower high before continuing to make a lower low. Now, let's just say real quick here that the impulse is done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? You have your flat kind of in here, running flat in a 4. And it's a 5-wave impulse. Now what we can look at is pulling our Fibonacci from the highs of the impulse to the lows of the impulse, and your wave 2 often retraces between the 0.5 all the way up to the 786, but your most common target is that golden pocket. So we could expect maybe a move, if the impulse is done, a move up to 73.3 to like 73.5. That would be a pretty nice area, because once again, that is where your anchored VWAP is going to be coming in. And these anchored VWAPs, guys, they're really, really nice to see these anchored VWAPs. It could even give us some sort of like, I don't really like it, but like a tap 1, a tap 2. Now we would want this to take some time in here, but a tap 3, where you kind of have that little distribution that's developing in here, where we're then going to really break this thing down and take out 60K. But yeah, it looks like, let's go on to our order flow real quick. And what are we seeing? Just get rid of some of this. So we did see some really nice longs stepping in right there. Very interesting. Just in the past 5 minutes, we saw a lot of longs. I will caution this though. All those longs stepped in on this candle here just 5 minutes ago. And that was at the top of our descending channel. So maybe breakout traders attempting to play the breakout of this descending channel. So they better hope that they can hold and the bulls can prevail here, because if you have a lot of longs in this candle here attempting to break out and you fail and you fall back in, that's going to be used for fuel, probably to give us at least a new local low here. It does look like on the 5-minute chart, though, we are breaking out. We are holding it, because you can see on this 5-minute candle, we just back tested it and we're still holding green here. So yeah, we might see that short squeeze. We were seeing the bull divs. Let's go to the 15-minute chart. As we were grinding and seeing this selling exhaustion, bull divs on Market Cipher B. 1, 2, 3 lower lows. You have your higher lows on the momentum. Your money flow didn't look the best, but you had multiple drives. But you can see here on NAMI, we had the nice bull divs here, and we even had the money flow bull divs locally from earlier today. Money flow bull divs here. And we were finally coming into that support level, guys. The support level we were looking at was that POC along with that pitchfork band. So I'll go ahead and turn that pitchfork band on. Because one of the big things that I've been watching is trading this pitchfork. It's just been really, really nicely respected here. Let's see, where did you go? Is this the one? Yeah, you can see here hitting into the bottom of the pitchfork band. And once again, guys, where's the highs of this channel, this small channel, this 15-minute channel? The highs of it are right around the top of the pitchfork band. So oftentimes you will come down, bounce from the bottom of the pitchfork band just to come back up, reject the highs of the pitchfork band, and then you might continue down. So that is something we do have to watch for. All right, welcome in everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Good afternoon, Decrypto, Mr. Rekachun, short squeeze indeed. Full port, good evening. Jay Kurlander, welcome in, man. Thank you for being here. Omar, welcome in as well. Bullish divergences on the CVD. Okay, let's check that out real quick here. So with CVD, you want to be making higher lows on the price action and lower lows on the CVD. So at least right now, I'm not seeing bullish CVD divergences on here, because in all of this here, we were making lower lows here, lower lows, lower lows. So in order to make bullish CVD divergences, you want to be making higher lows on the price action. Your CVD, you want to be getting lower and lower and lower. And that's your bullish CVD divergence. And of course, you want open interest to be increasing, meaning its absorption. So if we're looking at this structure of the today, really, the only way we could see bullish CVDs is in this little area of making higher highs in here. We would want to be making lower lows in the CVD here. So I'm not really, at least on my Bybit chart, we're not really seeing that. But here's the thing. Look at, we saw that initial green candle of fresh long position stepping in. We're continuing to pump to the upside here, but you can see now the next 5-minute candle and the current 5-minute candle are red candles of the open interest pushing down. So that means the short squeeze is starting here. And this short squeeze could get very, very aggressive, guys, at least coming up to take out that 71K high or whatever that number is. Let's see here. 71,600. We could pump up to see that 71,600 be taken out. Let's turn on our Fibonacci's, and we can keep an eye out on this over the stream, because we did have, and look at on the 1-hour chart as well. I know I'm kind of all over the place here, but we did have confirmation. Very nice bull divs. Your money flow was bottoming out as you were coming into that POC in the bottom of the pitchfork band. And on NAMI, you had the nice bull divs and money flow was nicely curving to the upside. So this morning on the Telegram, when I took the long, I let you guys know we are seeing bull divs on the 1 hour and under, finally coming into the support. And yesterday during my video, I told you guys there's only 2 levels I'm looking at within this range. I was looking at this box here being the golden pocket, the pitchfork band, the point of control. And then this support zone down here is even better. This support zone is going to be the value area low of the range. We have some liquidity from a weekend low. We have a weekly level. We have a daily level in there as well. Let me get that daily level turned on. You can see we have a daily level in there as well, and the value area low. So very nice support in this next zone around 66,000 to 65,600. But 2 levels I was looking. And, you know, yesterday being patient as we were breaking down through this value area high, no trade to be taken for me. And I just had to be patient and wait. I did take another TP on the short position. So I compounded the short yesterday. I let you guys know in the Telegram. I compounded the short yesterday on the bearish backtest of the pitchfork band and the rejection, because I had already taken 2 TPs. Then when we came down to 70.7, I took a third TP. And then pretty much what I compounded here, I pulled out here when we came down here. And then for Solana, I am on that long position now. Open that long position from Solana from the backtest. And I closed the short completely here because I had so little of it running. I closed the short completely at that low. Yeah, little bearish. Yeah, it is a little bit bearish. Oh, you are on the gold chart. Oh, no worries, Omar. No worries at all, bro. So It is bearish that we're falling back inside the volume profile, guys. But we have seen this range, first of all, for the past 6 weeks has been a pretty annoying range as far as the moves up and down within it. You can see we've got a lot of big aggressive moves up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Is this going to be down? And then we're just going to continue to trade in this like that. But let's look at range trading then. And also, by the way, this pitchfork has been really, really nice to trade. Let me just clean up some of this here. Oop, wrong one. This pitchfork has been really, really nice to trade. And where did we reject on our highs? At the upper band. We fell through the midline, so we come down to our lower band. And I mean, this upper band here within this range has really been a rejection zone for us. But at the same time, at least the lower band has held many times for bounces. So yeah, I'm expecting at least some sort of bounce here. And if we do decide, oh, this is Solana. I'm sorry. Bitcoin's as well. Bitcoin's is really nice as well, guys. Let me get Bitcoin's smaller pitchfork. So we have the bigger pitchfork. We came down to the bottom of the band. I'm just going to hide some of this in here. And same thing with Bitcoin, though, guys. The range, I know I was just on Solana, but up, down, up, down, up, down, up. You know, it's been a lot of up and down in here. Very annoying range to trade. Actually, it's been a nice range to trade. Very annoying if you're looking for a resolution of this range. Yeah, short squeeze, long squeeze, short squeeze. I mean, the thing is, in this zone here, we saw a lot of long stepping in towards the top. Same thing the other day. We saw a lot of long stepping in towards the top up here. And now we've kind of stopped out all those long positions, hunted that liquidity. So is there a chance that we do see another move up higher? I mean, to me, it's less likely now. The bulls had their chance earlier this week. The bulls really had their chance. They needed to break through this 0.5 and this anchored VWAP and see continuation for a wave 3. We didn't really get that. And it's very hard to count impulsive structure within this where we're just going to shoot way up. Is there some unlikely scenarios that could play out? Yes. Do we have that green dot on the weekly, which historically has given us 5 to 6 weeks of upside? Yes. Daily time frame. I started talking about this in yesterday's video. We were kind of closing the daily candle right as I was making the video, but it does look like the money flow is attempting to roll over here, and both our momentum waves topped out. It is not a good thing to see if your money flow starts to curve out again here. I mean, that could at least mean a move back down to the bottom of the range, which is going to be that $65,500 area. But I really am still expecting that we could see this breakdown to take out our 60K lows. And if we've got the two scenarios, right? And the two macro scenarios here for Bitcoin are the WXY correction from the all-time high. I'm talking about from the all-time high here. So let me hide this. From our all-time high, we have a couple different scenarios. We have our 5-wave impulse to the downside, and we're in an extended 5th wave that's not done. In that extended 5th wave, you can see we have a smaller 5 waves. We have our 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we would need a 5. Now, this 4th wave is almost 6 times longer than your 2nd wave, which is very uncommon, but it's not a hard invalidation. So and we did reject right from that 0.5 Fibonacci, which is your wave 4 target. So this impulse to the downside has not been invalidated yet. Is it less likely now that this range is so long? Yes, it is less probable to play out. And then the other scenario that we have is our larger WXY correction, which you would say that the Y wave is most likely not done yet. And you have your W, which is that 3-wave move here. You have your X 3-wave move in here. And then your Y wave, there's a couple ways to count the Y wave. And I've talked about this small little week-long sideways movement. And then this would be the end of the Y. So that's how I had this originally. It's less likely, though, because you want to see some symmetry within these moves. So could we see this as a Y wave that is still going to come take out your 60K lows. Now, this Y wave also, if we're in the retrace of the Y, this could go higher before dropping. So that's why I was saying there is still a bullish possibility, locally bullish possibility to come up to 85K. But then if we did come up to 85K, I would still be looking to take out your 60K lows afterwards to finish our larger corrective move. But right now, we're still in the range. We play the range until it breaks. We were attempting to see a break of it earlier this week, you know, kind of throughout the weekend and earlier this week. And now we're back inside, so we focus on the range until it breaks. Much HK, welcome in. And Yeshwanth, much love to you. Welcome in. And now there's a daily red dot on Market Cipher B. Interesting. Mine's not showing a daily red dot, but Nami is. That's interesting. Or maybe I think I have mine turned off because they were getting really annoying up there for me. So I think I turned those off. Yeah, even Nami money flow is looking to roll over. You're right. Nami money flow is looking to roll over. And one thing that we can see on the daily time frame, you can see your momentum is getting pretty deep to the downside in here. What I would say for this, let's go to the 8 hour. So the 8 hour chart is really nice. When we look at on the 8 hour chart, it's really nice to look at money flow on the 8 hour. I've figured that that's kind of our sweet spot for an intermediate like time frame. And you can see one of the bad things that we saw on the 8 hour on Nami. And remember, Nami money flow is much, much quicker than Market Cipher B's, but it's also based off the actual money flow. Market Cipher B is an algorithm of that money flow. And one of the things that I saw here on Nami is the bear divs on the money flow between these highs here. And remember, this last leg is when we saw all those long positions stepping in. So seeing that bear div on the 8 hour now confirmed with the rollover that really occurred yesterday, it is confirmed. And on the 4 hour chart, let me go to the 4 hour chart here. I showed this a bit in yesterday's video, but it's when your 4 hour money flow starts to cross into the red on Nami, you do get some big dumps here. So you can see the last time our 4 hour money flow crossed into the red on Nami, that is when we got that big waterfall down. And our 4 hour crossed into the red, and then we started getting an aggressive move down this morning. This green candle is interesting, but it just, you know, we only have 27 minutes until this closes, and you can see that your 4 hour money flow is starting to curve up again. We are at a support level. So bottom line, I'm expecting a little bit of bounce from this support level, but the money flow on the 4 hour, seeing it go out like that, I'm watching for a fake out here, something like this, and then we come down for a larger drop here. That would also give us some potential to see some bull divs, and then also some bull divs on here if we get that next drop down to 66,000 or so, 65, 66. Let's look at our important key levels within our range. So we have, this is our range here. Now, by the way, you know, bouncing from the bottom of the pitchfork band is not the worst thing is if you're a bull, because in the first month of this range, bottom of the band resistance, 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 resistance. You kind of get a fake out. You get back above it. You flip it to support in here. So it turns into support in here. And now could it hold as support again before? So for us to make another move up, it could. We want to see if we're going to, for the bulls, pretty much, we need to break back above our value area high with volume. And I would like to see today's daily candle close above that value area high. And on Coinbase, it's coming in around 71.4. But let's go to the daily candles. And on the daily time frame, yesterday's daily candle pretty much, it closed right underneath the value area high, but it was pretty much at support of the value area high. So if today's candle, and I know it's right now, it's looking pretty red and inside our volume profile. We did drop all the way to the POC, but if today's candle by the end of the day can get back above the value area high, we could have seen this as just a fake out on the daily to tap that POC, and that would give us a sign that we might be able to continue up to 78K. So I want to see today's daily candle pretty much close green. We need it to close green above the value area high. If not, in some ways, it's a confirmation that you've re-entered back and found re-acceptance back with inside this volume profile. And you know what that means? That you could see a move to the bottom of the volume profile, or you could finally see the big breakdown of the range. Michael, welcome in, man. Yeah, you're in that long. Awesome, dude. Super cool to see that. Let's zoom in on this and see what is going on here. Oh, man. Okay, I want to throw that channel back on, because if we are not going to break out of that channel, all right, we're kind of back testing the channel right now. You can see we were attempting to break out, in the process of back testing. If we start closing candles back inside, it could be a fake out, and this could come right back down. What are we seeing here? All right, so we were starting to get that short squeeze to the upside. Man, we even just saw some... Yeah, I mean, a little bit of longs were closing out. So a long closing out is a short. That's why you see this dropping in the last 10 minutes here. And our open interest was dropping. So actually, probably some people that longed down in here ended up taking some profit up here, just because it was the top of the trend, and maybe they're expecting another rejection. I longed, by the way, guys, I longed the back test of the pitchfork band. So we hit into the POC, but we were still seeing kind of grindy price action to the downside. So I waited for a bit. We got this nice big imbalance candle on the 5-6 minute chart. This guy right here. And then when we started to come back down to back test that pitchfork band, I longed the back test of the pitchfork band with my stop below that low, today's low. So I longed it like right in here. Stop is below this low. And I'm really targeting the value area high up to that 0.5 Fibonacci, and really taking out those range pivot highs here at like 72K, coming up into this general area. All right, it's attempting. We're in the process right now of back testing this channel. If we hold this, you do expect to break these local highs here. Let's see if we get it. It's looking pretty strong. I want to go on to the 1 minute chart. I mean, we were seeing those bear divs here. Little 1 minute bear divs gave us the pullback to back test the channel. To be really comfortable, I would want to start seeing this 12-minute candle close above this channel breakout, this trend breakout, and then that would give me confidence that we are probably going to continue to short squeeze to the upside. Yes, we did sweep those highs as well. So we swept some local highs. That was from earlier today when we rejected from the VWAP. So that VWAP rejection we saw earlier today, we just swept that. Took a little bit of liquidity, which would give us naturally a little bit of a pullback. But, and that's probably why we saw some longs taking profit as well, because it was a liquidity grab. So longs take profit on those liquidity grabs, because you never know if the trend is going to continue down. I do like money flows just crossing into the green. Yes, our momentum waves topped out a bit here, but I think we could continue to push higher. Let's actually look at... Wow, we're actually seeing some shorts come in here, guys. So we're seeing some fresh shorts come in right now. You can see your CVD is dropping in the last 10 minutes, dropping here, but they are fresh shorts, new short position. So if we can actually just even peek above that high a little bit, we can start to squeeze those shorts as well. It would be a local short squeeze, and that would trigger our greater short squeeze in here. Let's see if we get that move. And we'll keep our 382 and our 0.5. Those are going to be important levels to watch. Man, I really like where this 0.5 Fibonacci is, aligning with that pitchfork band. And then just to peek above it just a little bit, like if we see some sort of three-wave move like this up into that area, so you get your nice three-wave move into that area, peaking, you know, hitting the pitchfork band, hitting the 0.5 and grabbing that liquidity would be super nice for another move down. Or if this this impulse is done, 1, 2, 3, flat and a 4, you got your 5 here, then we would see something like this maybe as pushing up here, grabbing that liquidity, coming back down, and then a move up to the golden pocket. And that would give you your like kind of left shoulder, head, right shoulder, inverse head and shoulder. Everyone thinks we're going to break it. You start to break it, you hit that golden pocket and you drop. Let me check Ethereum real quick here. Okay, Ethereum is, I was starting to get a little bit worried about Ethereum because we were starting to break down below the bigger pitchfork band here. And I was expecting maybe a move. Well, $2,000 at the bottom. This is the bottom of our much larger pitchfork band. But if we look at the pitchfork that's just pulled from this initial structure here, that's on my other chart, then you can see we have the midline coming up around 2080. And I do think if we do, because you can see we were trying to hold the back test of it. We couldn't, we fell down, back tested that upper band. So then you're likely to fall to the midline. So I was actually looking for long a little bit lower on Ethereum around the midline. Doesn't look like we're going to get there right away. And then, of course, the bottom band of this pitchfork, this smaller pitchfork, is lining with the much bigger bottom of the pitchfork. So that down at like 1970, 1980 is a really good spot to be looking as well. If you pull that Fibonacci. I think it was from here. Yeah. From the lows of the range to the highs of the range, you can see at 1980, 1960. So this zone in here is going to be very, very nice if we do continue down. And then Solana, man. Solana's trading this pitchfork nicer than Bitcoin or Ethereum. This local range pitchfork here, from the lows to your initial highs down to your secondary lows there. And perfect rejection from the upper band. By the way, I took profit up here. Remember, I was telling you guys $97.50 to $98 was that take profit zone on the long. And then I just closed a bit of a short here and I entered long right there. I entered at 87.5 though. So I entered a little bit higher, 87.5. I have to say Solana's impulse looks a little bit cleaner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now are we going to see that three-wave corrective move to come up to golden pocket before nuking in a wave 3? Maybe coming down to your golden pocket 4 and then a 5. Okay, let's get back to Bitcoin really quickly here. And I just want to throw on our naked points of control here. Oh, those are the weeklies. And you can see yesterday that bounce, which could have been the wave 4 bounce, in that flat. I know it doesn't look like much from here, but a flat in here, or you could say that was your running flat in there before seeing the 5, was right around that naked weekly. The naked dailies. The next one we have, I don't think is till much lower. 62, I think. Yeah, 64, excuse me. Now, we have the bull divs on the 1 hour. Nami actually locally doesn't have 1 hour bull divs, which is interesting. But if we do get that push up and reject from this general area in here, remember our money flow overall is curving out here. So we would still expect that lower high before continuing down possibly. And I'm going to be watching this golden pocket here. Anchored VWAP on Coinbase is there. And that's your anchored VWAP from 98K. Could come up and grab 75.5 liquidity. Yeah, we do have some liquidity up there. So if we look at our liquidation heat map at that $75,000 area, well, this is close. Yeah, this is like 75,000, but let's go to the last month of price action. Let's see. Man, it's not really showing. There is liquidity above there, of course. You know that a lot of people shorted in this, for me, for instance, in this lower high in this triangle. So there's going to be liquidity into that high for sure. My original short was from around 74,850-ish. God, we've kind of wiped out all the local liquidity around us as far as higher time frames go. All right, well. Where do you see ETH bounce will go to? Okay, let's look at ETH here. Well, ETH also has a pretty nice move. Let's just zoom into the 30-minute chart. The one thing I don't like about Ethereum's low here, you can see we have this kind of starts out as a 3-wave move. So it's hard to say that's a wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5. But also your 5th wave is just a 3-wave move, it looks like, as well. This could be a complex WXY correction in here. And if that's the case, you could come up to the golden pocket. Reject from your golden pocket before moving back down. But I would be watching. Let's first off pull our volume profile of the range. And here's another thing with Ethereum. You can see it's not perfect, but this upper band was kind of acting as resistance. And now it's kind of acting as support. Yes, you're seeing wicks through it a little bit and wicks underneath it a little bit, but it is working on flipping that pitchfork band that we've been grinding in and around for 6 weeks into support. Yeah, I mean, and you're bouncing pretty much. You did front run it just a little bit, which is interesting because we front ran that midline of our smaller pitchfork. The modified works a little bit better. It fits a little bit better as far as the highs go. But we could be watching to, yeah, that golden pocket is going to be around the high of the pitchfork. So coming up into that area, you do see we have a little bit of some fair value gaps in here. In this candle and in this candle. So if, first of all, sweeping and filling the rest of this fair value gap into that golden pocket would be nice. I'm sure we have some sort of naked daily point of control up there. Actually, we don't. And here's another thing, guys. This naked daily point of control at the value area high and at the pitchfork midline, I would have liked to come just a little bit lower on Ethereum. Just coming a little bit lower here would have been really nice. Let's see if we do. Let's see if we get a rejection here from the backtest of the larger pitchfork band. Now, I know this gets confusing because we have our local pitchfork, which is just based off this range of the last 6 weeks. And then we have our higher time frame pitchfork, which right now we're coming up to backtest this. If we do reject here, I would expect to come down and finally make one more local low into this zone here. It would grab this liquidity as well. Down here, that's a Sunday low. And actually our weekend low here is pretty nice too. But where would I expect it to bounce to? Let's look more locally here, because we want to start sweeping up. If you're going to continue to make lower highs and lower lows, the unfortunate thing is you could reject from your local golden pocket, which is where we're rejecting right now, right? If you're going to maintain your bearish trend, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So depends on where you long this thing, but that if you start to reject this and start to close like these 12-minute candles back underneath the pitchfork, I probably would pull enough out to cover my fees and then get stopped out on the rest. It will be a break-even trade, but at least it was an attempt there. And then you could even pull a volume profile from kind of this sideways range that's been developing. And we'll take our bigger golden pocket as well. This general area is pretty nice. You have liquidity into your POC right here, and it would be a peak above the golden pocket. Are we seeing any low time frame bear divs here? Not really. What I can see so far on the 5-minute is you're holding the back test. 1, 2, 3, 4 candles on the 5-minute, trying to break down below it. So far, it's not able to. Also, though, that VWAP right there in a bearish trend, look at you peak above it just a little bit, you fall down below, you expect to take out this local low, right? 3-wave move up, reject from VWAP, you expect to take out this low. You do come up down, take out that low. Now this is 5 minutes, so grain of caution here with this, but you could be looking at 1-2s, 1-2s. This was your big third wave. Now this is going to be a 4. You're going to get a 5 and then another 4 and then another 5, probably to come up to take this out, like a little mini intraday impulse in here. Because you don't have overlap between this high and this low yet. Very slight, but no overlap. Very slight gap in there. Jesus Save 77. God bless you and welcome in. It's good to see you. Tony CC as well. Welcome in, man. You were up all night with Price and fell asleep. Dang, man. Well, remember, sleep is important. And if you're in a trade, if you're planning out that trade, it's okay to go to sleep and get stopped out, or, go to sleep and hit a TP. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is, right? You stayed asleep, you stayed up all night, you fell asleep, but welcome in. I'm glad you're here. And Alexios, so I hope that helps answer the question a little bit. We are rejecting from a local golden pocket in a bearish trend. So that anytime you see a bearish trend of lower highs and lower lows and you come up and you start to reject there is a real possibility of rolling down to make new lows. And knowing that Ethereum front ran that real nice support below us, that is a possibility. But what I would be watching here very locally, and we can watch this during the stream, is if you're going to hold this, I would expect to potentially come up to your POC and look at that 2192, that general area 2192 to 2182, that $10 zone. Caesar, welcome in. Caesar Coco, welcome in. Can you check ban USDT? It's yeah, it's something I got into this morning and ripping up. Yeah, we'll check that out. Look at that liquidity at 53. Yeah, definitely down much lower. Much HK. We have on Bitcoin on the higher time frames, that 54 to 53.5 level is that huge POC. On the daily time frame, if we're looking at both the ranges of, well, let me go, where's that here? Actually, I think it was this guy here. If we're looking at combining those two ranges together, 2024 and 2025, all the way up to current, right down at like 54 to 53.5, that is the value area low of our bigger range. And yes, there would be some liquidity. I mean, it would sweep up, not all of it, but it would sweep up like all of this in here and coming into your value area low. So I could see us WXY, the Y wave ending at 53 or 54 instead of 57. I do like 57 though, and I'm gonna 57 to 58 is still a strong support to me. Okay, let me take a second here to look at ban USDT. Oh man. Wait, is this the right one you're talking about? It's ripping up. Well, it might be ripping up on the day, but that's because the last 2 days, it almost looks like a rug pull in some ways. That's a huge drop in the last 2 days there. And the life of this coin is pretty much sideways. You did bounce from your value area low. You're coming up to your POC. So if you're in this, be aware because you're coming up to that POC right now. I would be honestly taking some profit. If you longed anywhere in here earlier today, if you reject this POC, you expect to continue down. And this does look kind of rug pullish here. I don't know what's going on with this, but you can see we had our big, huge flush down. We had some support trying to come in at that value area high, but as soon as you broke it, you pretty much fell straight to value area low. And honestly, this could be a flat in here. A, B flat, a C, and now you're going to continue down. Let's look at that target. Expansion. So between the 1.236 and the 1.382, let me just do this. We'll do that, and then we'll make this 382. Yeah, you kind of are rejecting from that flat zone. Daily time frame, you were seeing some pretty aggressive bear divs on the chart. Higher highs, lower highs. Very slightly on NAMI, you were seeing bear divs between these two highs. Money flow is pretty heavily in the red on the daily, and then it's topping out on Market Cipher B. Now, because you're coming down to value area low, yeah, you expect some sort of bounce here. The biggest thing I would be looking at is if you're able to break the POC coming up to that value area high. And I want to check something out here. Let's go on to the hourly. Let me make sure this is at the bottom there. And then let's turn on our 382. But we have to make sure that's based off log scale. Yeah, okay, that's it right there. Your value area high is going to be at your 382. So in a strong trend, in a very strong trend, which this definitely looks strong right now, you often reject from the 382. And seeing that if you do bounce from the value area low and you're able to get above this POC, I would watch for a move up to that 382. And if you do reject that, you expect to continue this down. So yeah, 07797, 078 pretty much. Let's look at the naked weekly points of control within this guy. Did I not turn it on? Okay. Okay, so that's why you're seeing if the daily candle closes above this naked weekly POC at 056-ish, then you could break this range POC and continue up to that 382. But I would be very cautious here. You also did front run this liquidity with that low. So that you might, if you reject here, you might come down, make a double bottom, and then see a move up. But that's a pretty aggressive move down. I would be cautious on this thing. I have no idea what it is, but that's a pretty aggressive move. But look at, you know how you see that big initial drop and then you start to get your grindiness in here and then it even flattens out even more in here. And that's when you start to see that kind of, it's starting to turn. You're starting to see that selling exhaustion come in. You break it up. Yes, River. I will look at River right now, and I'm sorry for forgetting that yesterday. Let's see. Pivot. Oh, it looks like we have looked at it a little bit. Yeah, you're pretty much coming up to that monthly in that 0.5 Fibonacci. What I don't like about this so far is this does look three-wave corrective, right? Three-wave corrective move. If you start to reject here and break local market structure, then so breaking this low at 1868. If you break 1868, that means that this three-wave move could be done and you could be about to fall all the way back down. So you were seeing those really nice bear divs in here, but you, after grabbing some liquidity, you didn't grab that. You didn't sweep this whole channel in here, but you did grab some liquidity, and then you saw a move up here. Very, very locally on more local time frames. With this dump that you're seeing right now, you're finally starting to break market structure again bearishly. It's not by much, but you are taking out that low right there. So I would be watching for a lower high before continuing to make a lower low here. And on NAMI, you're seeing those local bear divs come in. Let me check our 8-hour time frame. Yeah, the thing on NAMI and Market Cipher B, 8-hour between this high and this high, you are seeing that bear div come in. Bear div come in here as well. And then you also have some money flow bear div. It's slight, but you do have money flow bear div. So just be careful. I would be real careful for a potential bigger pullback from this monthly zone, monthly and 0.5 Fibonacci. Now, once again, still local, for local support for a bounce is that 16.5 to 16, because it is the back test of your value area high and the local golden pocket pull. That's going to be changed a little bit. So 17, actually, like 17 is looking like a good little spot there. But in that case, you would also be breaking some pretty aggressive bearish market structure. So I'd be looking for a lower high before potentially 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then your big third wave coming in on that lower high. And I think we looked at the bigger range as well. You could even pull this as a sideways range. In here, and this would be the deviation of the range, but you're pretty much back inside of it. And you can see with that volume profile, you are at the value area high, which is also your monthly and your 0.5 Fibonacci. You didn't quite come up to your zone. Now, are you long on river here, or like if you're long on river, I would just be cautious. Just be cautious because you are at a bigger support zone. You finally came and swept the liquidity from these highs. So you might see that drop because you are seeing some bear divs between these two highs now. After sweeping that liquidity, you can see actually not bear divs here. Very slight bear divs on NAMI on the 8-hour. Let's go to the 4. I mean, between this channel starting here, you are developing some bear divs between that channel and the money flow bear divs. On NAMI, you are seeing some slight 15-minute bear divs with that money flow curving up. So you might be able to see that low after we just grabbed liquidity locally, right? For the day trade. You just grabbed this little bit of liquidity. Now that you're seeing that liquidity grab, it is likely you could kind of push up here a little bit. But even this here, you have your initial, that's kind of a 3-wave move, and then you made a lower high. This is a range in here, but it's a lower high. So I would just be cautious if you're long on this thing and you do pull up and start to reject from your 0.5 or your golden pocket, that is when I would start to get out. Like in this general area. How's Bitcoin doing? I mean, we're holding the back test of the channel. This actually looks pretty good to me. Look at multiple 15-minute candles, a breakout, holding. This thing could break up pretty quickly here. Yeah, actually, this looks kind of nice to me. This looks kind of nice for continuation. In some ways, this is developing a triangle, a very wonky, steep triangle, but, and remember, a triangle is a continuation consolidation pattern. And these are just slightly higher lows in here. I've challenged and made it a goal to get NAMI first, a pro trading view account, and soon after Market Cipher B. So, and you said, do you recommend these over anything else currently from 60 to 700? Or what I recommend, Tony, more than any indicator, because indicators are just confirmations, right? What I recommend more than anything is getting down your technical analysis, like with whatever strategy you're using, whether that's smart money concepts, a Fibonacci type of thing, or Elliott waves, whatever you're using. Develop a strategy that works for you. For me, it's used like it's a combination strategy. I love volume profiles. Remember, I think that the most important things to look at in the market are volume and liquidity. Liquidity for sure. Like there's no question on that, right? But develop a strategy where you can come up with your zones of confluence, right? So like on this like on Bitcoin, we determined yesterday, where's our confluence at? Well, the two boxes that I showed you guys, if you watch yesterday's video, was this box here and this box down here. Those were the only levels I was really looking for longs. And because we had a lot of confluence, we had the bottom of a pitchfork. So it's part of my pitchfork strategy, but we also had a value, a POC, which is part of the volume profiles. So we had a lot of confluence in here to look for a long position. So now once we're grinding down there, only then first you need to know where to look for the long, right? So I know to look here and I know to look here, but you just don't randomly long there. You have to come in. Once you're there, you have to come in and see if you're seeing confirmations. So as far as confirmations go, yes, I do believe that NAMI and Market Cipher B are the best. Now there is a free version, Tony, of Market Cipher B. I think it's called Vu Manchu, or God, someone posted about it here once in the chats, but it is almost identical to Market Cipher B, but it's a free version. And use that for now, man. Like, you don't have to spend any money. Use that for now. It'll at least help you. And then there's another one called the Awesome Oscillator. Awesome Oscillator. And this one is pretty nice as well. You can see bear divs on this thing. Like, you can get bear divs in here. But there was one, I think Machi HK knows it. Machi, do you know the free version of Market Cipher? Like, I know Vu Manchu is one, but I thought there was a better one. And remember, Darren Does Things was talking about it. Vu Manchu, Cipher B plus divergences. So you can see the money flow is not the same, but it is similar. And it shows you your divs as well in here. You can see how the money flow is not exactly the same, but this will at least get you started as far as confirmations go. If you don't have the money to get Market Cipher B, then that'll give you the confirmations there, at least a little bit. But first, I recommend marking out your key levels, so knowing the technical analysis needed to get those confluent zones. And then once you're getting down there, you can look at there. You can also use the free tool. The RSI is actually pretty good. I mean, you know, the RSI gets a lot of hate, but you can use the RSI for divergences. If I was using the RSI, that's all I would really be using it for. But you can see here on Market Cipher B, we have bull divs. On the RSI, you don't. So it's not, to me, it's not as good. Gosh, I'll try to find that better version of the free one for you so that you can use that in the meantime. Okay, wow, I'm way behind in the chat. Let me see here. Should I keep building my account now that I have discipline to actually keep it? Yes, keep doing that, man. I would keep building your account for a bit. Use the free versions right now of anything. Not, you don't even need to get NAMI right now. Now, NAMI is very helpful, I do think, but you can, and same with Market Cipher B, but use the free versions for now. That'll at least give you a little bit better confirmation than you have now. And once you've built that account up, and maybe I would say after 3 months of being consistent, like on a profitable monthly basis, then you can start looking at getting those better confirmation indicators. But the key is really the discipline and the risk management. So what I know, so many people that are great traders that don't use indicators at all. Andy from Bitcoin Consensus is one of those. Coons is one of those. So yeah, I would recommend that. Let's see. Yeah, I rugged it. It's a scam coin. Took tons of profit. Awesome, Caesar Co. That's Caesar Coco. That's awesome. R Pink, welcome in, my man. Much love to you. Guys, we are attempting to break out of this 5-minute triangle that I just showed you. But R Pink just reminded me, I want to take a second here to shout out the partners of the channel. So the main partner of the channel is BYDFI. They are a VPN and KYC free exchange. All you need to sign up is an email and a password. If you do sign up using my affiliate link in the description below, you can get a minimum of 20% discounts on trading fees, and you can actually earn up to 40%. You do have to deposit some pretty large amounts into the exchange to get the 40%, but even a minimum deposit will get you 20% discounts. They're offering up to $8,100 in futures trading bonuses, depending on how much volume you trade. And if you're trading the futures markets anyways, like the contracts BTC, USDT, you're trading those futures markets anyway. So depending on how much you trade within those markets, you can earn extra bonuses up to $8,100. And they're offering some of the best initial deposit bonuses I've seen of any exchange out there. Guys, a lot of exchanges have reached out to me. No one beats BYDFI as far as the deposit bonuses. 50% on $100, up to 20%, 20% on up to $1,000, and 10% up to $20,000. So really, really good deposit bonuses. I've also partnered with BYDFI to create a Telegram community where, like, throughout today I told you guys I was taking the long, told you about the confirmation, everything like that, about to watch for the VWAP break. And that community is a private community, but it is free. So if you do want to sign up for the Telegram, all you need to do is join BYDFI using my affiliate link, and then deposit a minimum deposit of $100 or more. And once you've done that, you can get into the Telegram. All you have to do is click the Telegram link in the description of this video. And once you're in that Telegram verify channel, you type in /verify and then your BYDFI user ID, and that'll automatically put you into the Telegram channel. And once you're in, you're in. Second partner of the channel is Blowfin. I've recently partnered with Blowfin as the second non-KYC partner, non-KYC exchange. So they're offering some really cool bonuses. You can get 10% on a $10,000 net deposit, like an initial deposit bonus, and then 20% deposit bonuses. But they're offering, if you deposit just $5, you can get a $10 voucher. That is going to be for the first 300 users only, and then you can get VIP 1 for 30 days. So if you're interested, Blowfin's another really great exchange. They've proven themselves. They're really great order books, great UI there. And then 2 KYC exchanges that I use are MEXC and Bybit. Bybit's offering up to $30,000 in futures trading bonuses, and MEXC is offering a 10% initial deposit bonus up to $1,000. And then lastly, guys, of course, we have NAMI here. NAMI just launched 2 or 3 days ago with its NAMI 2.0 live adaptive smart time frame to mark out those bear and bull divs on the chart. So really, really great confirmation. Like I say, I use it on my trades for confirmation. So as we started to come down into my support box, this green box down here, now I'm looking for, do we have bull divs on the chart? Do we have our money flow curving to the upside? If we do, and we're hitting into support, I'm looking for a long. That's why I got long earlier today, a long that's in profit, by the way. I ended up entering in this area here, and we're long. I also took profit on the short because I saw as we were coming into support, we had some bullish confirmations on the chart. So for me, it's really helped maximize my profit taking on the trades that I get into, but it's also helped me stay out of the bad trades and get into the more probable trades that will play out. It's been a great strategy for me since I've been using them. But that's it for you guys. That's the partners of the channel. Also, please just hit the like button. If you got any sort of insight into the market from the live stream, please hit the like button for me. Please share the video. And let's get back to watching this breakout, man. Bitcoin is breaking out of this little triangle here. We were expecting this. It was back testing the bigger channel. We had this big channel that we've been in for the past 24 hours. Came down, hit the bottom of the channel, hit the POC, hit our support box. Now we are starting to break out of the channel, back test the channel right now. So at least locally, I'm expecting to take out this local high because we are back testing the channel and holding. But we might come up to that value area high and that between the 382 and the 0.5 Fibonacci. I have to say the 0.5 Fibonacci looks a little bit better because it would sweep this liquidity trail and specifically taking out the second pivot of the channel. Anytime you see a channel like this and you start to break out of it, you'll sweep the liquidity of the entire channel some of the time, but a majority of the time you'll sweep at least up to the second pivot of that channel. So that is where we're looking. You can see that second pivot comes right into that 0.5, right into that pitchfork band. And if we can come a little bit higher, we can grab the liquidity from the top. What are we seeing here? All right, some fresh longs stepping in on this back test. That's kind of nice to see. Just locally in the last 20 minutes or so. You can see some long positions coming in. Those are fresh long positions. Momtaz D, welcome in. Divine, hey man, would you show your session volume profile? When do you use it? I have it from 1 a.m. to 1 p.m. So I use a profile actually called the periodic volume profile. So if you look on my indicators here, it's called PVP, periodic volume profile. So on my settings on here, what you're trying to do is you're trying to find those naked daily points of controls, those naked weekly points of control. So first off, make sure your volume, your value area volume is either at 68 or 70. I know some people that set this to 71. I think 70 is the sweet spot. It's the default, and that's just pretty much taking the 70% range where the most volume is in about 70% of that range, you know. But your row size is really important. If you keep this on 24, which I think is the stock row size, you get a lot less information. So it breaks up that whole volume profile. You can see it breaks it up into 24 different chunks. And you don't have as much information within those chunks to get those volume gaps and those high volume nodes within there. So if you go into your settings on that and you change this to 200, or, you know, I know Jason uses 240, he just puts a 0 on it, but you change that to 200. Now look at, there's 200 of them there. You can get those gaps better, see those gaps in there a little bit better, but you can also see kind of where your support levels are a little bit better. And it does give you a more clear representation of where your actual naked daily POC or naked weekly POC is at. So I hope that helps there, but let me see. As far as session volume profile, you use it from 1 a.m. to 1 a.m. So if you use the periodic volume profile, it's based off UTC time, right? So wherever you're at in the world, for me, I'm UTC -7, but you can just change it to day. Wrong one. There we go. You can change it to your daily volume profile, and it's automatically going to snap to daily open every day, and it's just going to give you that daily volume profile. Daily volume profile, daily volume profile, daily volume profile, so on and so on, right? So to me, the periodic volume profile works a little bit better than the session volume profile. You can even go down to hourly if you wanted to. Look at all those hourly POCs. Okay. Yeah, and thank you guys for liking and sharing. I really appreciate that. Yes, let's try to get up to 100 likes, guys. That would be really awesome if we can get up to 100 likes on the channel, on the stream. Serac, welcome in. No one cares about your toxic behavior. Oh, wait, what? Hold on here. What's, guys, just be nice, please, in the chat. All right. Okay, let's see. Crypto Clan World, welcome in, my friend. Super cool to see you in here. Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you, man. I am doing the best I can here. And of course, no trader is 100% right, guys. So just know that. Sorry, it's called Sorry Crypto Face Market Cipher B. So that is the one, guys. Tony, sorry Crypto Face Market Cipher B. Yeah, and Coinalyze is a very good one as well. Coinalyze to look at your your CVD divergences is really important. David doesn't use indicators, but I do save time getting Confluence. It took me a few years to talk myself into Market Cipher. It was mainly to save myself time. Cool. Yep. And that's also as well. So for me, my primary trading is definitely not based off of the oscillators, right? Price action first, indicator second is what I always say. But it's just good for confirmation for me, in other words. Yeah, $60 to $700 is really nice, dude, since this weekend. Now, just it sounds like if you're turning 60 into 700, you might not be using the best risk management there. So be careful, because if you're over leveraging and you have one bad loss, you can be right back down to like 150 bucks or something like that. So just make sure you're starting to use good risk management with all that. You know, you might be just scalping the crap out of low time frame stuff, getting a bunch of wins throughout the day, and that's great as well. But yeah, just make sure you're using good risk management. Yeah, just the chart with nothing but candles, or use moving averages. I do like moving averages as well. Volume and liquidity are my favorite. So of course, volume profiles are based off volume levels. Anchored VWAPs are based off volume levels, and of course the regular VWAP as well. Those are really good to me. And then of course liquidity, highs and lows, right? Market structure, stuff like that. How is that a POC there? It depends on, I think on Bybit, the POC is a bit lower. Let me see here. If we go to the 2-hour chart, on Bybit, it is at 67.6. 67.7, let's say. So it depends on what. Oh, wait, actually, hold on. That's our bigger POC. Let me just throw your volume profile. Yeah, pretty much 68K. You're right. So it's just different exchange. Crypto, Serious Crypto. On Bybit, it's at 68K. On Coinbase, it's a bit higher. I like the Coinbase volume levels, man. They're the ones that have worked historically. I've back tested for years, both Bybit and Coinbase. And Coinbase does play out more of the time, in my opinion, in my back testing, my personal back testing. And Mr. Ron 2990, you can get NAMI for lifetime. It is cheaper to do it for lifetime, and I do have that 50% discount. So if you use Divine 50 and you use my link, you can get 50% off. I believe after taxes and everything, it's about $600 for lifetime, which is 3 times as cheap as Market Cipher B. And then you can go with like a yearly option, or I think even a monthly option. I can't remember if he actually implemented the monthly option or not, but it definitely is better to buy lifetime, in my opinion, because it's a one-time payment, you know, and then generally it will help you get a couple trades you win that are decent trades. It'll pay itself off, right? Even if you have a lower account balance, maybe you spend half a year paying it off, but now you have an indicator for lifetime that you paid off in half a year. And really it's the proper tool for the job, right, guys? Like if you're a plumber, you invest in the proper tools to help you be successful in your profession. If you're an electrician, same thing. Well, if you're a trader, and you can get tools that are going to make you more profitable in your profession, then why wouldn't you invest in those tools? Right. And so for me, I see it as an investment. And yes, you're going to be spending some money up front, but then now you'll have those tools to help you properly be more profitable if you know how to use them properly. Right. And if you have good discipline. So that's the way I see it. No, I don't really use the session volume profile, Momtaz D. Not too much. Yeah, if you want help to advertise the channel, ask Jason during a live about pitchforks. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, Jason's always given me shout outs. I love the guy so much. It's a great mentor, a great friend of mine. So shout out to Jason Kasper, guys. He's a really, really good trader. And if you're really wanting to scalp, Jason has been doing some real low time frame scalping for about the past month. And the guy is incredible at it. So if you're looking at like some of his trades, he's in for like 15 minutes or less or an hour, you know? So, now the reason he's able to do that is he does trade with a pretty significant position size with his trade. So, you know, he'll say, oh, I made $2,000 in 15 minutes off of this scalp position, but that's because he's trading with like a $250,000 position size or more. Let's see here. Had you used the Delta settings view on volume pro? Have I used the Delta settings view on volume profiles? No, I don't think I have. Let's see on. Let's see here. I think you mean on like a fixed range. Oops. Or are you just talking about like the developing? Honestly, I'm not too sure what you are looking at on that. Crypto Shaw, welcome in, man. 256, welcome in. It's good to see you in here. Just joining for a second to drop a like. Thank you, dude. I appreciate you dropping the like. Much love to you, man. Much love to you as always. Can you do a scenario where Bitcoin hit the POC on Bybit around 68K for a bounce? Yeah, there is still a scenario where Bitcoin does hit the POC for a bounce. So I told you earlier today at the beginning of the stream, there's two ways to count this move to the downside right now. And actually, I do have to say making one more local low would be nice. So if we're looking at this first move down as a wave 1, a wave 2, and all of this is a wave 3. Oh, what the heck? 1, 2, 3. We can get a bounce in a wave 4 to back test between the 382 and the 0.5, which was right about where we're coming up into. And then you would get one more low in a wave 5 to finish this 5-wave impulse, right? So there is a possibility of making one more low. Then you could get your bigger retracement before possibly seeing a big dump. So yeah, there absolutely is a scenario where we could see that. Because when we're looking at this overall from the highs at $76,000 pretty much, you have your initial drop. Now, you cannot have a triangle in a wave 2, but there is a count, and it's really messy in here on low time frames, where you get a WX and then you're ending the Y in a triangle, and that is acceptable. So you would have to say this is a WXY correction in here for a wave 2. Your wave 3 is this, because you don't really have, like in the count that I showed earlier where you have 1, 2, and then you kind of get your running flat in here for a 3. It's a very poor running flat in there, but you can force one, and then that would be your 5, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But to me, it's nicer that all of this is the 3. We get a bounce up for a 4, and then we get another low for a 5. And as far as time goes as well, because this corrective move, you want this one to be similar in time and price. So if we're looking at that, that was about 22 hours, and we would need something, or like 20 hours. So we would need something coming up, you know, into like this zone in here later on in the nighttime, or, you know, pretty much the next, yeah, next morning, tomorrow morning or so. So could we get a little push up? And remember, if we're looking at that, then you're pulling your Fibonacci and you're looking at those wave 4 targets between the 382 and the 0.5 Fibonacci. So at least on the Bybit volume profile, it would make sense to see a move and reject from the value area high in a bearish backtest. If you reject that, you expect to take out your local lows, right, on the bearish backtest. So that could be your wave 4. Then you could get your one last fifth wave in, and then you could finish the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So there absolutely is. So I would be watching for a rejection between $71,000 and 71.6, 71.7. On the Coinbase chart, you can see it comes up a bit higher. 71.8 is really where I like, because that 0.5 Fibonacci is in confluence with the pitchfork band. And you can see your value area high on Coinbase is at 71,380, whereas your value area high on Bybit is 71,150. So it's about $200 lower. Okay, yes, so it's $1,500 now. Okay, so I think it was $1,200 before. So I think he did raise the price a little bit. He did do a brand new update on it. So $1,500, you'll get 50% off. So $750-ish, you know, plus taxes. So probably about $800 after taxes, Mr. Ron. There's a Delta option that's pretty cool. Different, but for me, it shows who's in charge. And that's awesome, Caesar Code. Thank you for letting me know that. I'm going to check that out in periodic volume profile, fixed range volume profile. It's the settings where it's defaults to up and down. Yeah, that is also, that's awesome, man. Cause, Delta is really good to see sometimes exactly for who's in control, right? Like when you're looking at order flow, looking at that Delta really kind of can let you know who's in control there. So that is awesome to see that there's a Delta based off volume as well. Very, very curious to see how that would work. I'm going to have to go into, because when I was just looking at the settings here, I didn't really see it. Oh, what am I doing? Oh, I see Delta. There we go. Very interesting. Now, does it change it? Like, it just, yeah, your nodes in here are a little bit different, so. Huh. I'll have to test that out a little bit to see what the difference is between using up and down and Delta. Total, okay. Either way, though, whether you use Delta up and down or the total, your volume nodes are the same still, right? Your value area high, your POC and value area high, POC, and value area low are the same still. And those are what's really important within the volume profile. But it is nice to see those low volume gaps. Like if you have a gap in volume, this one's pretty nicely filled in the middle. But there are volume profiles where you'll see it's almost like you got all your volume coming in, and then you get a huge gap in volume, and then you get your big spikes here, and then you get another little gap, and then you got spikes in here. So those gaps in the volume profile are good to see because oftentimes you'll run straight through those gaps. All right, Bitcoin is pumping, boys and girls. Let's go. We are likely to take out the high that we just made at 70.6 because we bounced from the breakout of the channel. So this was nice to see. And we have broken market structure bullishly locally. We've taken out this lower high, we've taken out this lower high, and now we've taken out this lower high. So it is likely that we could come sweep some of this liquidity trail. Wow, even more interesting is we were seeing some fresh shorts come in this triangle that was developing. So we even can see a local short squeeze to squeeze out all the shorts that entered right here. You can see a bunch of shorts entered right there. And if those shorts start to get squeezed out, boom, you can squeeze them out. And then you could start to squeeze out the bigger short squeeze that was in here of all those shorts that entered in here. So yeah, man, we saw the bull divs at support. We have the potential for a short squeeze. I do think that Bitcoin could continue up here. How is our Solana trade? Nice. Solana breaking above VWAP, flipping VWAP to support. Likely to take out this local high on Solana, likely to continue up. So very, very nice to see there. Bouncing from the bottom of our pitchfork band. I really was looking for the long here. And yeah, I think we're going to keep going on this. Solana, if we do come up to, because you can see it's kind of a support resistance flip as well. Resistance, resistance. Now it flips to support within this little range. So this kind of line here is, and I know that's a horrible line, but that support resistance flip, kind of this zone right here. Resistance, resistance, support, 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 support. If we come up to that general area, it's where your golden pocket is. And your pitchfork band, it could be a nice little short in there. And of course, Mr. Ron, of course, man, absolutely. Yeah, Solana long is playing out nicely here. Apologies, I think my previous message looked like a shill. I was just wondering if you could buy Opal after Epic Crash a few days ago or seek greener pastures. Okay, we'll check it out, Estella. And no worries about it, apologizing or anything. Opal, O-P-U-L. Let's see, is that... All right, we'll check MEXC here. So yeah, it does look like you had a pretty aggressive crash. I would be careful here. Okay, so what I see right away is you have an aggressive crash here, and this move up here looks like a corrective channel. A corrective channel, and let's look at our volume here. Because if your volume is decreasing as you're moving up here, it does look like it's decreasing as you're moving up here. This looks like a corrective move before continuing down. I would look at, let's see here, like something like this. You know, that's kind of your corrective channel that you're in. You can see you keep rejecting from the midline. Also, one thing that is concerning on this, well, this looks like low liquidity in general. That's why you see all of these wicks, big wicks in here. And you do see wicks at the bottom as well, but so low liquidity. But if you do start to break this structure here, if you start to break market structure, this thing could flush down really quickly and sweep all of this liquidity that's been building. You do even see some local bear divs, higher highs, lower highs. You have bear divs developing here in this right here as well. It looks like it's not really even being traded for the last half a day. Like, it's so flat in there. Let's go to the higher time frames. Yeah, you can see here your big dump to the downside, and then as you're rising within this channel, volume is getting lower and lower and lower. That is not the best thing to see. Man, I don't know what this is, but this almost looks like a rug pull to me. I mean, it's just been going down and down and down. Now we can look at, this is the weekly time frame, right? We can look at this descending channel that we're seeing on the weekly time frame. You can see this descending channel that you were in, descending channel, descending channel. You're breaking the descending channel down with volume here. That is not good, because usually when you see something this aggressive to the downside, you'll start to hold the bottom of it or see a small deviation, get back inside of it, and then pump. We are not seeing any sign yet of this kicking in. And what we can do now is we can take this top trend that we saw here on the weekly, and instead of connecting it to this first low here, you could pull it to the next major low, or you could pull it to the lows here. And this channel here looks very nice. Midline being respected, midline being respected. You broke the midline down here. So I would be looking towards the bottom of this channel as a potential low on the weekly time frame, where you could at least see somewhat of a relief come in sideways, at least, you know. But I personally wouldn't start buying this until I at least see some sort of sideways range forming that lasts more than a week or two. Because for now, there is nothing that's saying, hey, this is almost done dumping on the higher time frames. No bull divs on the weekly, on the daily, no bull divs. Money flow still looks pretty aggressively bearish. I would personally pull a Fibonacci from the high to the low here. I would be looking at my golden pocket. Now we are going to have to set this on log scale. I forgot to change that to golden pocket. All right. Golden pocket looks pretty nice. 786 would probably be a little bit better because it would fill in this volume profile, or excuse me, fair value gap. You have this fair value gap in here. But, man, you might not come up that high. So you have your smaller descending channel as well. I would follow this descending channel if you start to break this down. But you can see if it holds here, like right now, it's not really even trading at all. What I would be looking for, and man, there's a couple ways you could pull this. Yeah, I would go on like the 2 hour or the 1 hour and not go from this wick low, but from the candle body to that higher low, and then to your first initial high in here. And if you hold the bottom of this channel right now, which you're pretty much at the bottom of the channel right now, it is not wanting to break down. I will say that. So you might see another move up and continue up to this golden pocket area. But if this golden pocket's around this midline here, let's see if we have any naked dailies in here. Nothing. But look at all these naked dailies here. You know, sweep, sweep. We could sweep. We could see small bounces in here. Honestly, what you might see for now, for like a week or two, is a sideways range developing here for a bit before ultimately coming down to the bottom of the channel. Your weekly channel, your bigger weekly channel. We'll make that blue. But no daily bull divs. You are seeing even slight bear divs on the hour, the 2 hour. Let's go to the 4 hour. Bear divs on the 4 hour on NAMI. I would be careful for this breaking back down, actually. But if you do start to get down to like 0.00345-ish or 3.5, let's say 0.003.5-ish, that is when I would start looking for that, you know, bit of a range to form in here. The accumulation, right? Left shoulder or a tap 1. Tap 2 in here, and maybe you come down like this. Tap 3, you start to form that sideways accumulation in here. But until you start to see some sort of accumulation, I would not be playing with this, because on the higher time frames, there is no sign of really anything. You know, it's just been bearish, bearish, bearish. And to be pretty much already at all-time lows, and then to dump that hard a couple days ago, not looking the best. Money flow on the 3-day still coming out pretty aggressive. Still coming out pretty aggressive. All right, Biddy, what are you up to? Okay. All right. Where was I at in here? Am I in a trade now? Yes, I am. I'm in a couple trades. So I'm short. My original short on Bitcoin, we took it during Tuesday's live stream, was right in here. We were making bearish CVD absorption between the New York open high and this high. We were making bearish CVD absorption. So I shorted around 74,800. I compounded it after 3 TPs on that short. I compounded it yesterday on the back test of the pitchfork band and the rejection. I compounded it, but I also took a profit this morning here. So I'm still in that short. I'm probably like 65, 75% total out of that short. And I did long the back test of the pitchfork band this morning right here. So I'm long and short on Bitcoin. And then on Solana, I longed at 87.5 off the back test of this pitchfork band here. And potentially looking to come all the way up to 60 or 93 and 6, 94 on Solana. But I will take some profit. If we sweep this high and reject or sweep this high and reject, I'll take profit. Yeah. I honestly would like to sweep. Let's pull our volume profile for this little bit. Yeah, that POC there, golden pocket at like 90, pretty much. 89, 95, 90-ish. Okay, I'll definitely check it out. Yeah, thank you, David, for letting Tony know about that other indicator there. Yeah. Oh, it had a hack. Okay. So even before the hack, though, Estella, that thing was in a yearly downtrend, right? Weeks and weeks and weeks of a row of a downtrend, and a pretty aggressive downtrend at that. So especially with a hack, a lot of people are going to lose confidence in the project. I would personally, if it was me, and this is not financial advice, right? But I would be waiting for some sort of range to form and a bottom to form on that thing before I was willing to buy that. Now, trading it also looked kind of dangerous because you saw all those wicks to the upside and to the downside. It means there's low liquidity there. So one move can cause you to ruin your whole plan. Let's see, Tony Market Cipher. Yes, there's a difference. Yeah, there is a difference for sure. I got 3 versions of the real Market Cipher. If I put them all on the same chart. Okay, wait, I've got 3 different versions and the real Market Cipher. Yes, there is definitely a difference. The real Market Cipher, guys, I have to say, real Market Cipher B has the best money flow overall that I've seen of any indicator out there. And money flow is super important. Now, NAMI's is based off actual money flow. It is quicker. If you're a scalper, sometimes this is better because it confirms faster and you can get those scalp trades in. But the overall trend of the market, the money flow on Market Cipher B does a really good job of kind of showing you that trend. So I have to say, I purchased this back in 2018 or 2019. It has been extremely helpful for me, and it has far paid for itself in helping me win trades. WAXP. Yes, we can look at WAXP. Let's go to Binance. See, now, what I mean by this is was in a pretty aggressive downtrend, right? You were in a pretty aggressive downtrend here. And now you're starting to see a bottom come in. This is kind of what you want to see. After that aggressive downtrend, you're starting to find a floor here. So it is at least looking somewhat good. It's at all-time lows. I don't like, man, it's at on the daily time frame, it's starting to find a bottom. But this is very similar, man. This is an aggressive move down. Like, this is aggressive dumping. I mean, what did I just do? A lot of these coins, guys, are going to go to zero. If they're not real good coins, they're going to go to zero. You can see this was your initial trend, right? From high to lower high to your first initial low. You broke it down. Now you're back testing the bottom of that channel and not really able to get in. You could take this trend and pull it to the second low. Then you see that, but the best one, obviously, the biggest one is that trend there. So it could fall as low as 0.31 or 30. But I would be looking at, this is being respected right now. So I'd be looking at this. You can see your dump a few weeks ago in October dumped you to the bottom of this channel. So if you do grind to the bottom of this channel again, 0.05-ish, that would be, I would be looking for some sort of support. It's very similar to what was happening on Solana. I can show you, or not Solana, excuse me, XRP. XRP has that big descending channel here. We had our big dump here back in October 6th. You kind of grinded down. Now you did wick past it, but on the lower time frames, on the daily time frame, you can see we started to find a base at the bottom of the channel. And you want to see that base form at the bottom of the channel, and then you got a nice aggressive move up almost to your midline, right? But you can see how that dump on October 6th, that low, was important. This, for the first part, you were in the upper part of that channel. You did reject from your POC of your upper range. You lost the range, and now you're grinding at the bottom of the channel. So if we go back to this guy, WAXP, let's go to our 8-hour chart. At least you, on the lower time frames, you are starting to see some relief come in. What I would be looking at is, you can see this trend here is a pretty steep trend, right? And then now we're starting to go sideways in here. This, I mean, it's really, this was kind of an upper range in here. And now you're forming an even lower range right here. So stair-stepping down. But I would at least be looking at this last 6 weeks here, this volume profile. You know, you rejected the value area high again, so you're likely to come down to value area low. You are starting to fall below the POC as well. So I would be expecting probably to come down to that value area low. Yeah, I mean, okay, you're at local support. You are at local support, golden pocket POC. So you might get a decent bounce from here. And it might just fill in this fair value gap. You can see how you have this big fair value gap on the 8-hour. Big fair value gap in here. So maybe you could, if you get back above this, you might be able to see a move up to fill it. But honestly, yeah, you had bear divs between these two highs on NAMI. Let's go to the 4-hour. Four-hour money flow doesn't look too bad as well. You are at support, so you might see a bit of a bounce from this area. It is your golden pocket, and it is right next to your POC. But on the higher time frames, I would really be watching the bottom of this channel. If you get down into this zone in here, that is when I would really be looking to maybe look for a swing long or some spot buys in there. Because you can see on your crash, the channel wasn't pulled based off that crash low, but it was respected. The channel was pulled off this low and those two highs, right? The other thing you could look at is, instead of looking at the volume profile of the real flat zone, you could pull this a little bit further to start looking at when this trend ends. And yeah, you're still at your POC. Actually, this is a nice range because you can see the value area low has been respected, pretty much respected all through here. Breaking above, you're back testing right now. So in the next couple of days, it's important to realize whether you close above or below this golden pocket. If you close today's candle at or above this golden pocket, there is a small chance because you were at value area low, you broke above it, you're coming in for the back test. If it holds, you would expect to come up a little bit higher, right? And at least fill in, like you have right here, this daily order block. I would be looking at that daily order block there so we can actually mark out your daily level. which is just the top of the order block, right? Let me make sure that's on. So you have that daily level at 00721. We can look at our weeklies and see if we have any weeklies in there. Yeah, you have that weekly there as well. So, I mean, that's a nice little zone of resistance above us. Right? A daily and a weekly level up there. And then you could, let's zoom out to the 4-hour. We can look at our weekly volume profiles. Fortunately, nothing up there. Let's see if we have a daily. I don't know why I turned that off. Man, okay. Couple key things here. This daily naked point of control is just above this high. And remember, what is important? Liquidity in sideways ranges. So if you have a liquidity grab into a volume POC resistance, I would be watching for that as well. So you have a naked daily point of control into a liquidity grab. That could be a very nice resistance or short opportunity. Okay. Now let's pull. Let me just turn this off for a second. Let's pull our Fibonacci from the last high here to our lows. Make sure that's based off. Yeah, based off log scale. So that is the next big level, I would say, is, and I think that naked daily point of control was close to that. Let's see. Yeah. So you also have a naked daily point of control at your golden pocket. So now we're seeing those confluences, right? This is Tony. This is what I was talking about. Finding those confluence boxes. And this zone is kind of hard because your daily and weekly are above. I would say this is the big zone here where there's a lot of confluence. But I would probably play this as two different levels. I'd probably play it as this. And then if you break above it a little bit, I would look at rejecting. Because remember, that daily order block starts at this golden pocket. It ends at the daily. But if we go to that daily level, the actual order block, actually it's a small order block, so it's a little bit above the golden pocket there, but that's what I would be looking at. And actually, let's make sure if this is less than a 30% drop. It is less than a 30% drop, so this should be not on log scale. This should be on regular scale, and that is going to bring your golden pocket to where it should be. So yeah, I actually really like this a lot. Actually, this box I would move to right here. Golden pocket, weekly, daily level, right up in this area. You do have a naked daily above that. So what I would be looking at on the higher time frames, like a 4-hour or 8-hour, if you don't, you might SFP this and see a small move down. And then if you come up here like this, you could pierce above the naked daily, reject from here, and close your daily candle at or below the naked daily point of control. That's if you're going to get a move up. If you're going to hold this in the next day or two, you might get a move up to take out those two things. If you're not going to hold it, you're going to dump. And seeing on the lower time frames, you did front run the low. You can see this was the low right here. And you pretty much have a double bottom there, and that's at your value area low. Well, what's important? Liquidity grabs, right? So if you lose this, you're going to fill that volume profile. I would expect to take out both of those lows together, this low and this low together around your value area low, get the liquidity grab, come back above. You can enter long once you get the liquidity grab. I would probably wait until we reclaim the value area low. My stop would go below wherever that is, and you could then target, you know, POC would probably be a TP1, still a 4.5 to 1 risk to reward ratio there. So that would be your zone of support, is this little guy in here. Okay, let me see here. Yeah, it looks like GRT, right? It looks like a lot of the altcoins. They're just junk, guys. I was curious if CryptoFace heard of Nami. I told him I saw a trader who used both Market Cipher and Nami. He said never heard of it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't, even if he's heard of it, I know he doesn't use it. He is a very unique trader. He trades pretty much with spider lines in his oscillator. That's it. Okay, let's see here. Let me scroll back up. Can we check if Kaspa has room to run? Kaspa USDT. Wow, it is running nicely. Holy cow. Guys, this looks pretty good on Kaspa because this does look like a wave 1, a wave 2, and then a wave 3 in here. And in this, it's probably a WX and then a Y in a triangle in your corrective move, and now you're impulsing up here. Does it have room to run still? Well, let's pull our golden pocket from the last daily high to this high. You are coming in. You haven't quite hit it yet. So be aware of that golden pocket just above us. But yeah, I mean, this thing, so you can see that giant dump on October, what was that, 10th? October 10th. I would be looking at the range. You kind of have two ranges, right? You have this sideways range in here, and then you have a bottom range in here. But you're breaking out of the bottom range, so you're going to be coming into this range. So let's pull our volume profile, not including the big wick, right after the big dump ended to about right here. Yes, you're coming into your value area low and golden pocket back test. So you're coming into resistance right now. Be aware of that. Value area low of your previous range that lasted a few months. And it's your golden pocket lower high on the last big dump down. So could we see something like this? 1, 2, 3, 4, and then get back inside the range 5. But what we can do also is we can look at adding a volume profile where we combine the two ranges, and then you would pull your Fibonacci golden pocket from the highs of that range to the lows of that range, and there you go. So that's the other big level, and of course we have liquidity up there. We have a daily level that's close by that. We have a daily level up there as well. So you can see we have a daily level up here. Let me make sure that's actually on. Yep, daily level up there. So what I would say is be careful because you're coming into resistance now. If you break above this, I would expect to come up here. This is definitely a big resistance up here. Because there is liquidity, there is a daily level, there is a golden pocket, your most macro golden pocket in this range, and it's your value area high. Once again, look at these volume profiles. See this low volume gap in here? Notice how we just shot straight through it? Because there's not a lot of volume in here. You can bust through it relatively quickly. Now we are starting to get into some high volume nodes in here, though. Some higher volume nodes in here. Let's look at our naked weekly points of controls. And I'm not sure that our naked dailies are going to go back far enough, but no, they're not going to go back far enough. There is probably going to be some important naked dailies in this consolidation or, you know, somewhere in here around this golden pocket. Let's look at our naked monthlies. Those are high time frame volume levels. Okay, you're rejecting from a naked monthly right now. over the past couple of days. And it's also the value area low of this upper range here. Let's pull our trend-based Fibonacci extinction from low to high to low. Uh-oh, be very careful here. Where are you rejecting? Between your 1-to-1 and your 1.236. So in a corrective move, you see a three-wave correction rejecting. This zone is the zone to reject. You are rejecting. You are starting to reject there. If today's daily candle closes below the 1-to-1, not going to look good. I would have to say then that this is probably a three-wave move, because if this was a impulse, you would want to see this continuing. And let me guess, the 1.618 is probably going to be up here. Let's see. We'll take that trend-based Fibonacci extinction. We'll put the 1.618 on. Okay, a little bit lower than that, but it's pretty much up there. So be aware. Can this keep running? It can, but you're at resistance. Let's see if we have bear divs on the 8-hour. Not really. Money flow actually looks pretty decent on market Cipher still. Let's go to the 4-hour. 4-hour is showing some bear divs. Money flows topped out. Money flows topped out, leaving, about to cross into the red. I would really be watching for a pullback here. So if you're not in the long already, I definitely wouldn't be taking a long here, because I guarantee you between this high and this high, there's going to be bear divs on the 1-hour. 1-hour. Yep. Bear divs. So look at higher highs, lower highs, lower highs, money flow, bear divs. Man, this could roll over here. So what you want to do now to see if that trend is actually going to roll over and end, let's pull our channel, because we want to see that buying exhaustion, right? So we'll go from the high to the higher high. We'll bring it down to this bottom, and this is our buying exhaustion, right? You got your quick move up, and now we're starting to see the choppy overlap and exhaustion. Could this choppy overlap continue until we hit the top of the channel and that golden pocket? Sure. So maybe a scalp from here, if it holds to here, sure. You could continue to build bear divs, right? Because remember, the intermediate time frames didn't look that bad, but you are starting to build some lower time frame bear divs. So will you see a couple more drives of those bear divs come in as you're coming up to that golden pocket? You could. If you start to break this, I would look for a dump. If you start to break that blue channel, I would start to look for a dump. But and as we're making higher highs within this channel, volume is getting lower and lower and lower. If this continues to go down as you're grinding up to that golden pocket, that could be a freaking awesome short. Actually, I want to mark that out because I really want to take a short here only once. Okay. Yep. So looking pretty good for a short in this general zone. If we continue, if and only if we continue to grind up and overlap, continuing to make bear divs, continuing to see volume decrease, that could be a good short. On the other hand, on the 15-minute, 12-minute chart, let's see. We don't really see the bull divs we would want to see at the bottom of the channel. We haven't quite hit it yet. But if we're coming down here, we would want to see some bull divs, and then we might be able to look for a move up. We're not really seeing them out like we would want to. They're not really coming in here. I guess on the 12-minute you are on market Cipher, but the money flow looks pretty dang bearish here. So if you start to lose this, and what you might see is come down to grab that liquidity here, only to see a small bounce to get to back test the channel. And if you reject, that's when you could see the dumpage come in. Now, on the other hand, if you do come down, you grab liquidity from this low, and you get back inside the channel, man, you might be able to see your move up to that golden pocket. Just be aware because it's starting to look a little bit exhausted here. Buying exhaustion coming in. Bitcoin. Yes, let's go to Bitcoin. All right, Bitcoin's continuing to pump, guys. I expect us to sweep. I expect us to sweep some of this liquidity. We broke out of this descending channel here, hitting into our POC and our pitchfork band. Look at all these. This pitchfork band held for most of the day. We got one last drop to hit the actual bottom of the channel and the POC on Coinbase. We broke out of the channel. We back tested the channel. I expect us to at least come up to that 382. It would be nicer to come up to around 71.8. It would sweep this liquidity. It would come to the top of the pitchfork band. We just bounced from the bottom of the pitchfork band. So to come up to the top of the pitchfork band would be nice. Now, we're expecting, if this is going to be a corrective move, we're not expecting it to come straight like this. We're expecting it to happen in a three-wave move. So maybe reject from the 382, get a bit of a pullback, and then come up there, right? You want to see that three-wave zigzag move. So watch 71K. You do have some liquidity into lower high liquidity into that 382, or maybe this is going to continue up to the value area high. See a small pullback and then up there. All right, Solana, keep going. I think I will TP some at this pretty much $90 area, 89.9. If we do start to reject here, I'll probably take out a little bit here. But I'm holding this, the close will be around $94. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, high time frame does need lots of patience. You're absolutely right, David. Absolutely. Guys, I do need to take off in about 15 minutes. I have something to get to half an hour after that. So I do need to, I have kind of a hard stop in about 15 minutes. Real quick, I was looking at the total market cap before the stream started, and I want to show you guys something on the total market cap on the higher time frames, because total market cap has been respecting this pitchfork absolutely freaking amazingly. And in the bearish scenario, I do think we're going to dump and continue to dump here. Come on. All right. So if we look at this pitchfork, pulled from your initial 2025 all-time high down to your low, up to your new all-time high, and we're looking at the bearish trend, you can see that we were chopping around the upper band for a bit, chopping around. Once we lost that upper band, we back tested it. It was also your anchored VWAP from that low. And on that rejection, we fall quickly down to the pitchfork midline. We bounce from the pitchfork midline. We get that high time frame corrective move to come up to back test the lower part of the band now. We rejected the upper part of the band. We fell to the midline. Now we're rejecting the lower part of the band. We fall through the midline this time. We back test it. You can see that there. It's hard to see, but fall through it, back test it, reject immediately, fall to the bottom of the band. Where did we bounce? At the bottom of the band. In this range, which by the way, guys, this range here looks very, very similar to this range here. And what happened here? We bounced from the midline only to come up and reject from the lower band. What happens here? We bounce from the lower band only to come up to reject from the midline. So are we about to see now this? Or at the very least, are we about to see a double bottom of the band? Grabbing the liquidity from these lows into the bottom of the pitchfork band. It's just being highly, highly respected. And knowing that we keep losing every single major pitchfork support and then turning it into resistance, losing the support, turning it into resistance, turning it into resistance. This rejection here is starting to get scary. And if you fall back inside your volume profile, which I just had pulled earlier, God, I need to delete some of these. Your daily candle right now, this daily candle close today is going to be important, because if we see this wick inside the volume profile, but we close at or above the high of the volume profile, there's a real possibility that this could continue, or at least maybe make a double top here, right? Not a double top, a lower high at like the 786. If we close this daily candle back inside of this, not looking good. That means we could see a dump. But this total market cap has so much to do with the market, right? Because we know a lot of the total crypto market cap is in Bitcoin, but the altcoins as well, especially the top 10, the big guys, are important. And when I see the total market cap reject, like see nice support down here, a rise up and reject here, it just gets me concerned, because literally, when's the last time we saw that? What happened? You know, we have to be careful here. And if we're looking at the bigger Elliott waves, we have the 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're still in that extended fifth wave. Now, once again, this fifth wave is not looking the best anymore, because you have a 1, you have your running flat in a 2, your 3, your 4 is way long in time and price, and then 5. And if we pull our Fibonacci, we almost hit the golden pocket. Not quite. We did reject from the 0.5. That is your wave 4 target, between the 382 and the 0.5. So coming up to that area right there, God, dude, it is scary. You guys, we are in a bear market. Once again, zooming out to the weekly time frame on the total market cap, weekly time frame. What do we see in here that is scary AF? Bear divs across the board. Bear div, bear div, bear div, money flow, bear divs, money flow crossed into the red on the weekly. No bull divs on the weekly. I mean, it's just bear market territory, right? That means that this could continue down. And what if we come to the bottom of the pitchfork? What would we grab? You know, like, is that going to happen? I just don't like what I'm seeing here if I'm a bull. I have some spot. I don't want to see that. And this would probably happen a bit quicker, right? It would take a couple months. Couple months of dumpage. What would that be around? May. And remember, we were looking at the Bitcoin correction, the end of May. May 24th, May 23rd. Bitcoin is at a time, as far as time goes, is going to be at a key spot. If total market cap is down here at the end of May, and Bitcoin is down at its key support at the end of May, whew, maybe we get a bullish summer. A buy in May and walk away. Now it would be towards the end of May, but yeah, let's check Bitcoin out here. What is she doing? It's chopping, guys. We are likely to continue the rise a little bit, okay? You are still rising. Now, here's the thing. I expect this, if it's going to be a wave 4 corrective move, I expect a day or two of moving up to like 71.8 or 71.6-ish, right? So this here, we want to see this start to develop some low time frame bear divs as we're coming up into these zones, as we're coming up to about 71,100 or 71,350-ish, right? Between this zone and here would be a spot where I'd be looking for at least somewhat of a rejection and a pullback. Reject, pull back, and then maybe we get that move up to 71.8. And as we're coming up to this box, if we're grinding up like this, you want to see those bear divs between these highs on like the 15-minute chart and under. Maybe even on the 5-minute chart, right? 5-minute chart, we're pulling up. We're already starting to develop some bear divs. Higher highs, lower highs, lower highs, bear divs. Now, though, remember, this was our triangle that we were breaking out of earlier in the stream. We just broke out of it. And what are we doing? We're back testing our prior high. If it holds, you expect to continue the push. So let's see if this holds. And look we're trying to bounce right now. If we close this candle, this 5-minute candle green, I think we will see continuation. Yeah, don't worry about my spot. Mom, Taz D, I know it's long term, but I still hate to see the red, right? I still hate to see it. Yeah, and our Pink, you're right. That is a big predictor. Something big is going to happen in the news. Charts do really kind of predict the future. It's crazy. It is crazy. Yeah, no promises. Yeah, it's not the start of the bear market, but actually we're probably closer. You know, with Bitcoin, it goes in 4-year cycles, right? 3 years of like a bull market and like 1 year of a bear market. So we've been, what's it been, like 5 months or so since the highs. Hold on, why am I doing that? Daily time frame. How long has it been? We've been about 160 days. So, you know, what is that, 5 months or so? 5.5 months, close to 6 months. Halfway through the bear market. I really do think, guys, this zone right here, and by the time we get down there, if we chop in here for a bit, by the time we get down there, this anchored VWAP might be right at the top of this box. That would be right at $58,000. What do we have at that $58,000 mark? Naked monthly point of control, 57.9. Naked weekly point of control, 57.9. I think there's a naked daily in there as well. I didn't mark it out soon enough, so I don't have that. I think we had not a weekly, but I think we have a daily level, 2 daily levels right in there as well. This box right here at 58K, 2 daily levels, a naked weekly, a naked monthly, and your anchored VWAP from the bear market lows on Coinbase. Now on Bybit, it's different. We're already below it. Coinbase, anchored VWAP from the bear market lows, 57, 58K. So 58K is looking pretty juicy for me. And then once again, if we lose that $53,500 area, the bottom of the pitchfork, actually, where was it? It was the index chart. This guy here. All right. First off, you have the weekly at 54.8, but if we pull that volume profile, at the bottom of the pitchfork, this is your multi-cycle pitchfork. Perfect. You know, your high here in 2023, your high here in 2024 at the midline, your all-time high here at the midline in 2025, if we come down to the bottom of the pitchfork, where you have a weekly level, where you have your value area low, and you can see, at least on Binance, your anchored VWAP is way lower from the bear market lows. It's at 42 pretty much. But 53.5 to 54.5 is, so 58 and then 54. Two big levels for me. If we do make new lows, you know, I still do think it's possible. Now, on this move up, if we're looking at this being a WXY correction in here, right? WX, and then you're going to see the three-wave move in a Y. The bullish scenario, because we did print a weekly green dot, is we could see all the way up to 80 or 85K before seeing that drop. But you can see coming into that pitchfork band, you did front run it a little bit on this low. So are we going to front run it a little bit on this low? High, excuse me. Now, if we go to this pitchfork, let me, where did she go? Right here. Okay, this pitchfork was so well respected for all of 2025. 74K lows, perfect bounce. You get up to the top of the pitchfork band, you reject, and you created that distribution range at the top of the pitchfork. Bear divs on the daily, money flow draining out as the range was forming. We were more likely to distribute. I made a video about the Wyckoff patterns here. A lot of people thought we were going through redistribution and we were going to pump up. But because I had Market Cipher, and I did not have NAMI back then, because I had Market Cipher, I was looking at the bear divs confirmed. Money flow draining out as the range was forming is a classic distribution range. We distributed all the way down. What did we see up here in this range? All-time high range, right? All-time high range in here. Bear divs, money flow draining out as the range was forming. Distributed. Okay, guys, thank you so much for being here. I will be live tomorrow, same time, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so please come join me. Please hit the like button on your way out. And remember, if you do want to join the Telegram, it is free. All you need to do is sign up with BYDFI using my affiliate link and deposit the minimum deposit of $100 or more into the exchange. That's your money. You're not giving it to me. It's still your money to trade with. And then once you do that, you can click the Telegram link, type in /verify in your BYDFI user ID, and that will get you into the Telegram, and then you'll be in. So thank you guys. Love y'all so much. Appreciate you. On Bitcoin locally, watch between that 382 and that 0.5. God, that's a horrible looking chart now. 71.1 is around the 382, and then 71.8 is a lot better of a confluence for me. 71.8 is that 0.5, and it's the top of the pitchfork band. That is really where I'm watching for a potential rejection. But remember, we're looking for a three-wave move up to that, right? You're looking for a three-wave move up to that. So boom, 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 something like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, guys, much love to you.